Well, I decided to get a very small greenhouse, just using it as a starter house for hopefully some starters for this fall planting season. I got some pots and stuff on the way. I've set some things in here just to see how well they do with the heat in this location and to give a little weight so this thing doesn't blow away. A little smaller than I anticipated, but it took less than 30 minutes to put together. Only cost about $89, so it wasn't too bad. It comes with 6 shelves. I kind of stuck a heavy plant in again just to kind of keep the weight in it so it doesn't blow over in our desert storms. Usually we get windstorms this time of year. And yeah, it's actually a pretty neat little greenhouse. Can't wait to get my seed starter sets this week and get this thing started. Gardens are doing okay. We're surviving the summer. It's been 113 all week. Little hot. There's my moringa tree. It's coming out. It's still looking a lot better. And then eggplant's doing awesome. I actually got, surprisingly, we were having trouble growing eggplant. I actually got some good eggplant showing up. So, kind of happy on that. My wife is really happy because she loves eggplant. And, you know, they're doing good. Doing good. I'm going to skip over a mess. And, yeah, I should skipped over the tomato plants. They're not doing so well. They are still green, still alive. A few more weeks to go, hopefully. I am planning on doing a better job on the sunshade. I want to bring it up, get some posts in these garden beds, bring it up with a little bit above the plants. But it's been doing its job so far. And actually, if you look inside, you know, my tomato plants are still living. There's my yellow tomato plant, still doing really good. Obviously I don't have any tomatoes, but everything's living underneath the sunshade, so hopefully when the weather cools off I can take this off and have things pop back to life. These are my moringa seedlings, and you can see they're really taken off. They're planted in a deep, rich soil, deep bucket. I'm going to transplant them this fall. And you can see there's one of the ones from a video I did earlier. I handed all of them away but that one died a little bit on top, but it sprouted a bunch of other leaves and it's doing good right now. Pepper plants are doing awesome with the shade cloth. Again, I want to get a higher shade cloth, but they're growing great. I actually got banana peppers again. They're not melting away. So, you know, 40% shade cloth does a lot of things. My spider plant surviving the summer. My surprise okra still living. We picked a lot of the okra off. Still producing about 3 or 4 okra a week. This is just a regular mums. This is my mulberry tree. And although you got a little bit of drying, it has new growth on top, so it's growing quite well. Yeah, I like to do that with just my oak. There's a mess. So this is my my okra garden, and like I said, it's been 113 all week. I'm actually going to back up a little bit. It's been 113 degrees for the last week or so, and they're doing awesome. I'm getting about 10 okra a day from this garden. There's 2 different varieties. So you can see here, this is a thornless, so it doesn't hurt when you pick it. You don't get stuck. Branches get a little sticky, but it's a long, skinny okra. It'll get about 4 inches long before you pick it. I don't have any that big right now because we pick it twice a day, so they don't get hard. But this one has bigger seeds. It's a long, skinnier okra. It's a little bit more tender, but it has a lot bigger seeds than the other one. The other variety we have, here's one that's almost ready to pick. Tomorrow morning we'll probably be picking it. It's a thicker base one, doesn't get as tall, only get about 3 inches tall, and needs to be picked first thing when they hit a certain size so they don't get a little hard and woody. But yeah, I should not really phrase it that way, but it's the truth. They get kind of hard, and so they're not as easily eaten. But you see there's also differences in the leaves. So here's another longer skinny one. You get this almost like a maple type leaf, where you get this one here has almost like kind of like a marijuana type leaf. They're just different varieties of okra. I don't know if any of you have grown okra before. What's your favorite varieties, types, brands? But I've grown it for several years. This is one of the best harvests I've had, and we've had one of the hottest summers on record. So I'm actually amazed it's doing this well, and it's in full sun. There is virtually a little bit of shade here in the early morning to about 7, because my neighbor has a tree right there and provides a little bit of shade in the morning. After 7, the rest of the day until that sun sets, it gets full sun. This is my basil garden. I'm not really using much of basil. It just, like I said, I consider it a weed. This originally had green beans and carrots and radishes and stuff, but it all died down over the summer. Basil's actually seeded in all my gardens, just because I've grown a lot of basil and there's just seed everywhere. So if it grows, I just let it grow. So this garden's actually just growing basil. I'll probably make some pesto or something out of it, or give the plants away. But this fall, this will all be removed, and this will probably be one of my newer gardens. I want to try growing some wing bean, because my wife asked me to go to that, and it's like a longer, flatter green bean from my understanding. If anybody has any experience growing it, let me know. But I want to try and plant it for this fall, see if I can get it to produce, and I'll save some seed for summer. But that's all I got going on right now. Keeping busy. Like I said, I'm watering twice a day, keeping it up. Waiting for it to cool down so I can move these pots out of my way and back in the front of my shed. And I can also share. There's that mess I was hiding earlier. It's actually not a mess. It's actually where I store eggshells that we use. I crush them out, dry them out, and put them in the garden for some extra calcium. Also use them in some other things. So I actually set the shed in between 2 moringa trees. So this is my first one, or Malungai, and then this is the second one planted around. It's doing really good. Again, it's been really hot this year, but look at that. It's just like a perfect leaf. And my wife says these taste so much better. That one there isn't leafed out as much. These are 3 cuttings. So these 3 that are going to be transplanted soon, just waiting for the weather to cool off. See, they've branched out nicely. These are actually from cuttings. So, and they're producing just really nice. And sometimes, if you eat a lot of the moringa, sometimes just growing it in a high fertilizer big pot, you'll get a lot of leaves. They won't grow very tall. You just keep cutting it and bushing it out, and sometimes it's better, actually, much more nutrient rich. But those 3 are actually, when this tree was cut here. So last year this tree was about 20 feet tall. I cut it off and cut the side branches to get it to bush out a little bit more, to produce a little bit more leaves. And so I stuck those 3 in this bucket. The branches are thick enough, so when you cut them, the branch is about, you can see my hand here, about that thick. You see, the thicker the branch was, the thicker the tree is growing. As long as they're about around an inch thick, 1.5 inches, they'll sprout into a new tree. And now it doesn't happen all the time. You might have, but if this is the first time I ever had 3 for 3, usually, you know, I'd put 5 in the ground, maybe 3 will grow, but this is the first time I actually had 3 for 3 grow. This is my other Malungai tree, so I got 3 right now planted in the ground. This one here was originally part of this tree here. This tree here is actually 5 years old. It was grown in a container, just like that. 5 years, stunted its growth a bit. The tree in the background that you see that is like way up there, that's only 1.5 years old. Planted from a seedling I got, planted it, boom, just took off. So this one just now, it got stunted and it didn't want to come out for the longest time, but it's finally coming out. I dug a bigger watering trough for it, giving it a little extra water, and it's turning out beautifully this year. See, my ground cover dies off every summer a little bit. And for my other Filipino friends, this is my Nana planted this seed 5 years ago. So this is calamansi. So it's not a lemon tree, not a citrus. It will produce a really small lime. Filipinos use it a lot. Not sure how much other Asians use it, but it's 5 years, so I'm hoping it flowers out this year. I'm trying to think what to fertilize with it to get it to flower out, but again, it's been growing like crazy this year. And it's been in the ground now for about 6 or 7 months, and so it's doing good. I wasn't planning on doing a full tour, but might as well. Rosemary always does good, likes the desert. Yeah, you can grow in the yard. You can grow rosemary anywhere in Arizona as long as you water it. The only sign you think, if it starts getting like little white dots, then you're not getting enough water. And this is, well, the final one we'll talk about. This is, oh, I got one more update to do. This is lemongrass, grown in a container, because obviously I don't want it to spread around the yard. I picked this up. You know, you can go to an Oriental store, pick it up, leaves, and just plant it. Let's see. And the final update, because I get bored, is I want to give you an update on this. I know I should pick that up. If you can see down in there, I don't know if I can see it on the phone. Just seeing a little green. So my basil just started to turn green on both. This is only, oh wow, it really grew a lot today. You can kind of see it down in there. And I need to take the top off of that one. So once it looks like that, I take the top off. It doesn't need it anymore. It'll continue to grow towards the light. I didn't see any others. I looked earlier today. A little bit of green chunk, but the basil's already at day 4, so I was pretty excited about that. It usually takes about a week or so, but 4 days, that's a pretty good pod. This one will be up. It's already there, and I don't know if you can see that or not. Let's see if I can readjust it. Yeah, it's already there, but I can actually probably take the top off that one too. They'll be up above these holes in a few days. So, all right. Well, everyone have a great day, and thank you for watching my channel. All right, bye.